What is going on, good people of YouTube? It is me, Chavez, back with another Player Prop Talk live stream here on the channel. As always, I hope this finds you doing well and in good spirits. Be sure to hit the like button on your way in. It means a ton. We're going to get into some player props, try to build out maybe 2 slips today, and then we're going to get out of here. Shorter stream today. Not able to do a full hour today, but we'll do the best we can. If you're new to the stream, we build slips, we break down props, we have a couple of resources that we use to help us get it done. So let's get started. No time to waste today. Hashtag blessed. If you're awake, you're blessed. Pretty much simple as that. A lot of people die in their sleep every single night. If you're watching this, you are not one of them. So congrats. Not too many things better than waking up, unless you decide to wake up and play on better. Use that QR code, scan that for a first time deposit match up to $250. Simple as that. Didn't see any promos on better this morning. Maybe have to wait till Friday. I think Friday was last Friday was the day we saw all the promos come through. But they're usually good for a promo or 2 a week, which is great. Great way to build bankroll. We're going to be using the OddsJam Fantasy Optimizer to help us locate value across the industry. 30% off your first month. Use that promo code right there on the screen. You can also sign up for a week trial, but yeah, 30% off your first month. Pretty strong deal. So more value in that, especially if you live in a state that allows you to view sports books. You'll see more available to you than you typically would just looking at pick'em sites. We're also going to be using props.cash to help us dig into player prop value. So if you have a player prop, we can dig into game logs, BVP, trends, and all sorts of things. Thanks 25 is the promo code. Get 25% off your first month. Use that code. And that's it. Let's jump on over to the OddsJam Fantasy Optimizer here. All right, and we'll pull this up on the screen, and then we'll just start looking at some plays and see what's available to us. Per usual, what's up, JR? Good morning to you. First play on the board is Nestor Cortez, under 30.5 pitcher fantasy score. Well, I don't know what he did last game, but 3 books on the board that like the under on this one. Equip, 1 data point here. Trying to see if there's any other plays that we can look at with more than 1 data point. Yips over first map headshot sitting at 6.5, and 6.5 on underdog and HOTSTREAK. So if you play on those sites, probably like take the under on that one over there. Nola and Max Fried over 11.5 strikeouts. This one is a little iffy to me because Max Fried has not looked all that great, but if he can squeak out 5 strikeouts or so, Nola should have no problem getting you 6. I mean, 7 maybe. Yeah, if Max Fried can get you 5 strikeouts, then Nola would have to get you 7. I don't know why this feels very one-sided to me. I don't know if I just don't feel all that strongly about Max Fried getting you 6+ strikeouts today. And then a bunch of NFL plays today. First, a WNBA play is a little down on the board. 17.5 under for Kelsey Plum's points. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 data points that like the under as well. Yeah, so there is not a lot of value on the PrizePicks board right now. I think we're just missing value. I think some of these plays are popping like after midnight. I don't know, like a club or something. I feel like we're too late. I just don't stay up late enough. Again, Nestor Cortez under pitcher fantasy score on underdog. Same 3 books, I believe. Like the under on this one. Quite a few more esports plays. You have pitcher fantasy score under. Wow, 21.5 is really low for Simeon Wood Richardson. They must expect a high scoring game in this one. He's going to get touched up a little bit. Also, I don't believe San Diego is a heavy strikeout team. We can look at that one. There's the Quip once again. You could play this on both underdog and PrizePicks. Go under on PrizePicks, over on underdog for a nice little middle opportunity. Masked is a second play you can look at. Not as good of a middling opportunity. Andrew Heaney. So forth and so forth. All right, let's see what Dabble has to offer. I've been liking Dabble for the last week or so. We've been playing Dabble on the stream and putting a slip in there, trying to put a slip in there each day. Dabble's been okay. Yesterday, Dabble slip that I put in the Discord did hit for a 6x, so nice little 6x payoff there. Unfortunately, the one that we built on the stream did not hit. We were one play away. One play away, Eric Fetty. All right, so on Dabble, we got Spence, Yariel Rodriguez. There's Kelsey Plum again, 53%. Roderick Munoz over 5 hits today. Cal Raleigh, Matt Waldron. Quite a few more WNBA plays on Dabble than we've seen in the other books or the other pick'em sites. So if you like WNBA, you should have no problem building out a 3-pick over on Dabble. Lastly, let's take a look at better, and then we'll try to build out a slip today. All right, better fantasy. Connor Norby, Kevin Newman, Veerling. Got our first NCAA play. That's this Saturday. Georgia Tech versus Florida State, under 4.5 receptions for Eric Singleton Jr. Just one other data point on this one, so not sure about that one. It is nice to see some form of football back, like that isn't preseason. Same thing here. Not a lot of action being taken on these books. I don't mind this DJ Ungulele. DJ Uangale. Though it is not the biggest difference here between better and FanDuel, just a 2-yard discrepancy. It's not huge, but it may be enough to put in a slip. I mean, play the under on this one. Jamal Haynes over 17.5. Longest rush. That's a different one. We don't really see those. Okay. Jamal Haynes over 74.5 rushing yards. Maybe this one. It's not the greatest percent chance to hit, but man, I guess if you were going to play the under anywhere, you play the under on Flip at 78.5, man. That is way higher than 74. I mean, for a running back, I mean, I've had running backs just literally miss their prop by 0.5 yards. So to see a discrepancy of 4 yards, it's pretty big. All right. Those are 4 pick'em sites for you right there. We're going to try to build out a PrizePicks slip today. No promises, though. Had to uninstall and then uninstall and then reinstall PrizePicks on my phone and on my desktop here. Just all sorts of problems. Not sure what's going on. I can't get it to sync up with my PIKKIT app either. So my earnings aren't true to date on my PIKKIT app, but first world problems. I'm over here getting mad and shit because PrizePicks won't link up. Like, in the grand scheme of things, who gives a shit? It's like first world problems. It's a luxury problem, right? It's not that big a deal. It's frustrating. It's a little frustrating, but could be worse. There are worse things going on in the world today. So let's see. Got PrizePicks pulled up. We're going to go back to the OddsJam Fantasy Optimizer and see if we can get a good 5-pick in here today, at minimum 5-pick. So let's take a look at this. You got Nestor Cortez going under. We have Landon going under first map headshots, sitting at 4.5. Yainer Diaz going under hitter fantasy score. You got Yeps going over. And then we get into some NFL props. I don't really want to put those in a slip today. Gaffalo over 4.5 headshots. You got 2 data points on this one. There's that Max Fried and Aaron Nola, Kyle Gibson and Tobias Myers, Kelsey Plum and Aaron Judge. The Yankees are facing, I think he is a rookie for the Cleveland Guardians today, if I'm not mistaken. Joey Cantillo. I don't know much about him, but his control, I think, is an issue. So usually young pitchers who have control issues either get hit up, they get touched up because they leave shit over the plate, or they walk a lot of batters, or they walk enough batters to help, get runners on. And with that kind of power in the lineup, I don't know if you want to pick on the Yankees today in a situation like that. So maybe looking at some of these Yankees props for the over, unless this guy just comes out there and just completely shuts out the Yankees lineup. Aaron Judge can get this done in a heartbeat. Ellie De La Cruz goes over his fantasy score yesterday. It went from being projected to go under, and then within 5 minutes, it got changed to over. And he finished with 10 fantasy points yesterday. It didn't really feel like he finished with 10 fantasy points because the Blue Jays just went on a home run derby versus the Reds. But he ended up getting a triple and scoring a run, and that's 10 points right there. So had he gotten a double, it wouldn't have been enough for him to go over fantasy. So the triple really, I've sealed the deal. But he's projected to go over today. Yeah, Jameson Taillon going over fantasy points versus the Tigers. Andrew Heaney over 5 strikeouts. Boy, Mitch Keller put it on the Rangers' ass yesterday. I took the over for Mitch Keller in terms of his hits allowed, and no, he did not go over that. He didn't even come close. Mitch Keller put it on the Rangers yesterday. Seven innings pitched, 9 strikeouts, 3 hits allowed. I think that's like 60 fantasy points. 27 plus 21 is 48. Plus the quality start is 52. Plus the win is 58. 58 fantasy points. Just like that. Wanted to take a look at Heaney at home versus the Pirates. Over his last 5, he's averaging 6. Over his last 10, he's averaging 5. He's had some bad games in there. But over his last 5 home games, he's put up 7 or more in 3 of those. No head-to-head numbers to look at. Take a look at his projections here, just at 5.35. And you have 1 book, 2 books, 3 books, 4 books, 5 books that do not like the over 5.5, but we're getting his number at 5 on PrizePicks. So BVP versus Heaney. You got a few batters in there with some really high strikeout numbers, like Connor Joe, Joey Bart, Roddy Tellez, Michael Taylor. All should be good for a strikeout. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strikeouts between those guys. Versus lefties, they're hitting better versus just lefties, but against that lefty, not the best. What else? Over 7 first map headshots for Dirty. D40. CJ Stroud over. That's not until next month. So we got about 2 weeks for this one. But if you think that's a little too low, you should lock it in now because it's just going to get higher little by little by little. The week of, this is going to be like at 275, I bet you. They'll just keep moving that up. Let's see. Ramirez versus Cortez, possibly in play. Alex Call, over 1.5. Hits, runs, and RBIs. So here's Aaron Nola, over 5.5 strikeouts. You're not getting a lot of crazy juice to the over, right? I mean, 145 and 140 are your highest, but a lot of these are pretty reasonable. So it feels like 6 is in the cards. The strikeout prop between he and Max Fried is set to 11.5. So then if he got you 6, Max Fried would absolutely have to get you 6 to go over this line. So just something to think about. I don't know about that combo prop. Let's do a quick refresh, and then we're going to build out a quick slip, and then we'll move on to underdog. Rory McIlroy, under 5 birdies. And PrizePicks is just not popping right now. This is gross. I'm just going to move on to underdog. I really try every morning to build out a PrizePicks slip, but I just don't like anything on PrizePicks. It usually opens up in the afternoon, but and if it wasn't for the tacos yesterday, I probably wouldn't have played the 4 slips that I've played on PrizePicks. Underdog has given us a bit more to work with. We got the under 5.5 strikeouts for Yariel Rodriguez. Let's see if we can build a real quick 3-pick today over on underdog. Three picks on underdog are in play because of the 6x payout, and Rodriguez is no longer on the board. No telling how long that was on the board. I don't feel like that strikeout prop was on the board for a very long time. He's not popping up, but he is popping up on the optimizer. He's just not on. He's just not on the PrizePick or the DraftKings. Jesus Christ, the underdog board. Yeah, there's no. No, there's nothing. There's nothing. All right, let's try this. Be farting. That's funny. Be farting over 13 first map kills. This is from the same game, so we cannot play these guys. Under Andrew Heaney's 30.5 pitcher fantasy score. I'm going to skip that one for now. Jackie Young, under 22 points and rebounds. And we're simply just playing the value here. You know, it's not personal. It's just the numbers here. Okay, so Jackie, I don't know what's going on, but Jackie Young is not on this board either. Sometimes Underdog will show plays on the desktop, but not on the mobile app. I have no idea what's going on. So I don't usually like pulling up the Underdog desktop because it's slow. It just doesn't cooperate. And they don't even have a desktop app. So I'm really just pulling it up on a web browser. But it just really slows everything down in terms of live stream to have PrizePicks, Underdog, all this shit pulled up. So like I said earlier, this is going to be a shorter stream because I didn't really see a ton of value earlier this morning. And it looks like Underdog is just taking plays off the board. If you can find Jackie Young, if you can find these plays on your Underdog dashboard, let me know if they're showing up on the web browser, but I'm not seeing shit. And they did get removed. So yeah, they're not on the board anymore. So that is how quickly things move. They move real fast. Junior Caminero under 1.5. Guys, this is bad. Yeah, I'm not building out an Underdog with that. Sorry. You guys got some plays you want me to dig into? Throw them in the chat. It doesn't mean I'm going to put them in a slip, but just throw them in the chat if you want me to take a look at those on props.cash to give you some more insight. But we're not seeing any value. Maybe you're seeing value. I'm just not seeing it. We're on BETR right now. We're checking out what's going on BETR. Basically, red squares are not ideal. You want greens. Golds are okay. That just highlights the value. Green presents the best value. Red presents the worst value. And that's what that represents. You can also look at the data points that are available. I don't mind going to a play if it's not green, as long as we're getting a lot of support. We weren't seeing this many lines on Underdog and PrizePicks at all. So not only is it not grading out well, but it's not being supported. So it's just like a lose-lose. Tobias Myers under 2.5 earned runs. Let's see if we can build out something on BETR. I would like to get at least one slip built out today. I don't really care where we build it out. That one's not on the board either. This is great. This is awesome, guys. Every pick is being pulled off the board. So now it's been updated. So we have Rory over 4.5 birdies. It's giving you the under on Underdog at 5, I think. I don't like that one because they're saying he goes under 5, but he goes over 4.5. That's contradicting. You can't go under 5 and go over 4.5. So it's just one of those where if you play the under on the 5, he's going to land at 5. You play the over 4.5, he clearly has to get you 5. Those are just kind of like no man land types of props. I don't like those. There's no need to play those kind of props. Connor Norby under hits, runs, and RBIs. You're getting 6 data points. You got Kevin Newman. We can't play these together because they're in the same game, not the same team. So they will not cross each other off the list. When you try to put in 2 players on the same team with the exact same stat, it will ask you to choose one or the other. So we don't have to worry about that with these 2 plays. We go under Newman, and then we'll go under on Norby. All right, so next one, Isaac Paredes under 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Similar data points. Let's keep going. Matt Vierling over a single. Hey man, CJ Abrams is coming off a game where he did go yard. I wish he had stolen a base yesterday. That would have been great. But he did hit a home run yesterday. He had 3 hits, runs, and RBIs. Now, this game is versus Colorado, but it is not in Colorado, so there is no home, like, Coors Field advantage. 1, 2, 3, then hits a home run. 1, 2, 3, then hits a home run. Are we looking at some nice little trends here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 home run. 1, 2, 3 home run. 1, 2, 3 home run. So not quite Ohtani. Ohtani had those 4 games. Every 4 games he hit a home run. So I don't, we don't need him to hit a home run today to go over hits, runs, and RBIs, but let's take a look at what he's done over his last 5 games. He's gone over this in 3 of 5 and 5 of 10. He is projected for 1.4 hits, runs, and RBIs. However, you have 2 books that like the over on this one, BetMGM and DraftKings. These games are at home. So if we expand it out just to show all games, not as good as his home splits. Head-to-head matchup with the Rockies. A lot of good numbers here. And not all these games are being played in Coors Field. Like that one's Coors Field, that one's Coors Field, that one's Coors Field. These are all in Washington. So he's getting it done at home. Numbers against Tanner Gordon, he doesn't have any. So we'll look at right-handed pitching numbers. When facing a righty, 14 homers, batting .230. Average is low, power is up. And then Gordon versus left-handed bats, doing a really good job of keeping those numbers down. I'm putting them in there. And then once this slip is built out, I'm going to share the link in the chat and we'll move on. We got Jake Myers over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. I'm used to taking the under on Jake Myers. Vladdy hit 2 home runs yesterday. That Vladdy and George Springer hit 2 home runs yesterday. 2 for Vladdy, 2 for Springer, and 1 for Kirk. They went crazy yesterday. And here we are, we're getting into the 52s now. I kind of don't want to go that far down. Let's look up this Jake Myers real quick. Jake Myers today versus Cooper Criswell. Jake Myers is coming off a game where he did go over this line. He has gone over this in 3 of his last 5 games versus Boston. These are all this year. If we just look at his last 5 games in general, a 3 over his last 5 and then 5 over his last 10. When he's at home, similar numbers. So again, no numbers against Criswell, but numbers against right-handed pitching. 9 homers, low batting average, 10 doubles, and 2 triples. And then Criswell versus righties, 300 batting average, giving up 5 homers. So not a ton of difference between lefties and righties outside that average. Really low plate appearances, but we just need him to get on base and score a run, basically. Jake Myers also striking out at a 25% rate versus right-handed pitching. So Jake Myers goes out there and gets you 4 at-bats. I'm sure one of those will be a strikeout, but he just needs to get on base one time to get that going. If he scores a run or drives somebody in, he's over that. So let's throw it on the board. All right, trying to find the Astros and Red Sox. There we go. Early game too. So we have Baltimore and New York. That's a 12:10 p.m. start time. And then we have Houston and Boston. I believe that is a 1:30. It has a 1:30 start time. 1:10 start time. All right. One more play. Who do we have so far? We have Newman under, Norby under, Abrams over, Myers over, and Tobias. We have Jake Myers over, and now we're looking at Tobias Myers under 5.5 hits versus the Cardinals. We also have this Sahith Theegala over 70.5 strokes. I'm kind of done with PGA props, man. Just a little over that shit. Jackson Churio over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. You got 6 data points. How many do we have for Jake or for Tobias Myers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Under 5.5 hits allowed versus St. Louis. Where is this guy? All right. Took it off the board. On BETR, these gold squares are almost as good as the green squares. You just rarely have a lot of green plays on BETR. So anytime we find green plays, I try to get those in as quickly as possible. And then the yellow or gold squares are just, I mean, they're right there on that cutoff line. So unfortunately, we miss out on that one. That's how quickly lines move. This is why I usually try to refresh these pages like every other minute. It seems a little excessive, but that's how quickly these lines move. All right, so we can't play him. We're struggling here. Just trying to find plays that make sense. Sometimes it's the slips that take the longest to build, or the ones you don't have as much confidence in, or whatever, that do the best. So I just built a 5-pick out. I'm going to share this link in the chat. I added Paredes in there as my 5th and final play. Got to be honest, I didn't really like the way that went. We had 3 plays get taken away from us as we were trying to build that slip out. So not the best endorsement for BETR. I understand that, but that's how shit goes sometimes. What's up, Jesus? What do you think about Alana Smith over 5.5 points first half? Curious about Trey Cabbage. MLB just got called up on PrizePicks. What's up, Travis? I had 2 different slips. I matched 4 of 6, and the other 2 were hitter strikeouts of 0.5, and neither of those 4 dudes struck out. That's how it is, man. It is frustrating. Let's see. Trey Cabbage over hits, runs, and RBIs. He's been up for a minute, though. He's been in the lineup before today. Yeah, on the year. Yeah, he's just kind of platooning, like back and forth between small ball, big ball. So yeah, if he's in a lineup today, we could take a look at not really, can't take a look at many things for him. So against righties on the year, just very limited sample size here. 8 doubles, 8 singles, and a homer. Just batting .218 versus righties. Terrible against lefties, and just 7 plate appearances. He hasn't even gotten to 200 yet. Just a single. I mean, if you want to take a shot on him, you can. I mean, I'm not seeing a whole lot that looks good, to be honest with you. Total bases, getting a lot of juice for the under on this one. Hits. He might be good for a hit, like a single or just a hit prop or a 0.5 total base prop. If you can find his total base prop at 0.5, but you can see over his last 10 games in the majors, just 2 games with a hit or more. I mean, yeah, if you have to go that route, you want to play him. I mean, it is a little risky. There's just not enough info to look at. Let's look at Alana Smith over rebounds. I think it was at 5.5. 5.5 or 6.5? Oh, I'm sorry. 5.5 points first half. Okay. I was gonna say, if you got her rebounds for 5.5, that is a good line because I'm seeing it at 6.5. All right, 5.5 points for Alana Smith. All right, so we got a few different things to look at here. We can go last 5, where she's gone over this in 1 of her last 5. You can look at her last 10, where she's gone over in 4 of her last 10. You can look at head-to-head games versus the aces. We want to pay attention to the 2 games this season. She went for 13 and then went for 5. Overall, just 2 of 7 games. She is projected for 9.48 points. So if you just did the math, that's less than 5 points per half. Seeing what she's done in the second half, does it improve? Over her last 7 games versus the aces, not really. Over her last 5 games, she does come alive in the second half. I mean, you got 3 games where she's gone over 5.5. In her last 10, same 3 games. So compare that to the first half, right? Those 3 games, she didn't really show up in the first half. Second half, she comes out. I don't know what halftime adjustments they're making. I don't know if she's even starting, and then she starts the second half. I have no idea. But her second half versus her first half look wildly different. So if you're able to take any sort of action on her second half, that might be the best route, just based off what we're seeing here. In the second half, over her last 5 games, she's averaging 14 points. And in the first half, over her last 5 games, she's averaging 15 points. So it doesn't really have anything to do with playing time. I mean, she's playing almost identical minutes. Field goal attempts, she's averaging 5 field goal attempts in the first half over her last 5 games. She's just averaging 4 field goal attempts in the second half. And she's basically going like 2 for 4 in the second half. 2 for 5 in the first half. Yeah, I have no idea. Is she hitting more threes or she's getting fouled? She's going to the line. I have no idea. No free throw attempts in the first half. Second half, free throw attempts are a little up here. I mean, that's 5 extra points right there. In the second half, she's 2 for 3, 1 for 2 on 3-pointers made versus the first half. Yeah, it's threes. She's making more threes and she's getting fouled. So in the second half, she's just shooting better and she's getting to the line, which are 2 things you can't really count on players getting to the line. I mean, that's hard to project. I mean, unless you're like Ja Morant, who just, drives and gets fouled all the fucking time, but it's hard to project that usually. Threes might not be as hard to project. She's just making more in the second half. So I don't know what's going on, but 5.5 seems like a good line for a second half. All right. Let's go back. That was better. We made 1 slip on better. Let's check out Dabble. The big boys today aren't playing nice. PrizePicks and Underdog aren't playing nice today. So let's check out Dabble. Dabble's been cool. Over the last week, we've hit some 3 picks. And been able to profit. Kelsey Plum has risen to the top as the top play on Dabble at 17.5 points. This one has been up for a minute. I think we have an extra book taking action on this one. 17.5. You can also take the over on her assist. Rodri Munoz over 5 hits. Nestor Cortez under 2.5 earned runs. There's Heaney over strikeouts. We looked at that one already on props.cash. Springer under bases. Cole Irvin over 3.5 strikeouts versus the Yankees, or versus the Mets. Courtney Williams over 4.5 rebounds. This game is late night, 8:30. Probably the last game on the slate. Chelsea Gray under her rebounds. Manaya under hits. Joe Adele. Bridget Carlton over 3.5 rebounds. Asia Wilson 40. All right. Let's pop back over to PrizePicks. Maybe the extra few minutes helped us with some new value being added. Appreciate y'all being here. Oh. All right. Kayla McBride, Kelsey Plum under 33.5 points. Let's take a look at that one because Kelsey Plum's points were getting hammered for the under 17.5. Now she has gone over this in 2 of her last 5 games and 6 of her last 10. Against Minnesota, last 3 games, 2 of them being this season, she hasn't touched 15, let alone 18. So if Kelsey Plum is projected for about 17 points, let's say she goes out there and gets you 17 points. We have a line set to 33.5. You just can't have this go over 34. Or actually, you just can't have it go over 33, really. Because if it hits 34, then it goes over and you lose that. So if Kelsey Plum gets you 17, then the most that Kayla McBride could get you is 16. That is the absolute most she can get you. And you can still hit this bet on the under. So if Kayla McBride is projected for 14.5 points, you round it up to 15. She did go for 16 against the Vegas Aces last game, which is fine by me. She goes for 16. Plum goes for 17. You still take the under on that one. You hit. In her last 5 games, she has gone over. Listen, when she goes over for her and a friend. Like 27 and 30 points. That's a big production. The other 3 games, she's just floating around. So it's like the tale of two tales, basically. That one doesn't look like a bad play, to be honest. I'm willing to roll the dice on that one. I'm getting enough info here based off these numbers to like the under on that one. If it got bumped down to 33, then I think it's heavily in play for a push. But that one looks strong. This Nestor Cortez, I just don't know how to really analyze these pitcher fantasy scores. We've looked at these in depth, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I feel like they backfire more than they backfire on us more than your typical player prop would, you know? So I'm just trying to avoid these pitcher fantasy scores. Yainer Diaz under 7.5. And no, we're not getting a whole lot of action here on many of these plays. There's Kelsey Plum's assist. Jordan under a walk. Wilson and Collier over 21.5 rebounds. I think Wilson has a rebound prop of 11.5. So she gets you 12, and then Collier gets you 11. That would be 22. But they have Collier going under 13.5 rebounds and assists, which doesn't really correlate well with the other prop. If y'all see anything y'all like, on the optimizer as I go through this stuff, throw it in the chat. Right now, the value just isn't great. You know, if you know, we have to put a few of these red plays in there, we can, but I honestly rather just wait until the afternoon to see what pops up. This Morikawa over strokes. I know I said I was kind of over PGA props, but this one is getting a little support on FanDuel and Underdog and Parlay play. So going over 69, he gets you 70. I mean, that's what this line is set to. So you are getting a slight discount there. Kelsey Plum's assists look good, to be honest with you. But if you want to play the over on McBride and Plum, you can't play both of those in the same lineup. So you got to make a choice on which prop you want to look at or which prop you want to take. That's the better slip that we built out earlier today. It's in the chat. Feel free to tell it. Back over to Underdog. This is what I do every morning, is I just try to build slips out and I just flip flop back and forth, back and forth. Only difference is now I'm on camera. This is what I do every morning, just trying to find the plays. And some days are good in terms of value, some days are not. And I'm trying to find correlation between pick'em sites and days, and I haven't really found anything yet. I'm trying to figure out on certain days, do certain pick'em sites have early value versus, I don't think has anything to do with the day. I think it has everything to do with the games being played that day. So you never know what you're going to find. We're finding a lot of lag right now, I'll tell you that shit. Appreciate y'all being here on a Wednesday. It feels like a Thursday for some reason. We have not built out a slip on Underdog. This one is a good one on PrizePicks. You get it at 4.5. It's higher on the other two lines. You want to go over 4.5 on PrizePicks. Chelsea Gray over 12 points and rebounds. All these 4 books have it at 12.5. Can we run a 3-pick? Again, not the best value, but you know, you throw that in there with Chelsea Gray. No promos on Underdog. I would really like a promo right now to help out with these slips, and that would be great. Just to improve the odds, you know, just to improve the odds on these picks. The promo would be fantastic right now. Adamas over, Chapman over, Harper over. Harper versus Max Fried today. Max Fried has not looked good this season. I think he's hurt. I think he's not 100%. I think his strikeouts have been there. His walks have been up, right? Yeah, walks have been up, man. Like you don't want to walk the Phillies. Like you don't want to walk 2 guys on and have Harper come up there or Castellanos come up there or somebody who can smash. Like, that's the last thing you want. And then all of a sudden you've given up 4 earned runs. You know, it's so fast. So the walks hurt more than the hits, because the walks take up pitch count, they tire the pitcher out, and they put a runner on. It's probably the most deflating thing for a pitcher outside of giving up a home run. But today against the Phillies, you got Bryce Harper, who has a decent batting average versus Fried. This is high strikeout though, right? So I mean, listen, Bryce Harper can go out there for sure and strike out once, maybe twice, but he can also go out there and get you an RBI double and go over this line. 2 doubles, 4 singles, 2 homers, and 4 RBIs. Listen, the BVP versus Max Fried is really good. It's not enough to just say, oh, fuck, that's a lock. But it does make you feel good that this is here. Against lefties on the season, you know, nice lefty-lefty matchup. His lefty-lefties, these are kind of reverse splits in terms of average. The average is higher up. Also, the plate appearances are down. The power is there. The doubles are there. Obviously not as much power versus righties, but that's power though. It's power there versus lefties. Fried versus lefties, allowing a 358 batting average with 4 homers and 3 triples. I think for our third and final play, we're gonna add in that Bryce Harper fantasy score. I know it's not popping as a green square, and those are the ones we want to put in a slip. But the way today's going and just the lack of value that's on the board right now, I really don't have any interest in staying on this screen for another 10 minutes, just refreshing. And I know you have better things to do with your day. So let's go ahead and put this one in. And then I'll share the link in the chat. Oh, I forgot that we have Beef Farting in there. We're only 1 play away from creating a 5-pick. I forgot that Beef Farting was in there. Heaney under. We were trying to build out a price. We were trying to build out an underdog slip, and then we moved away from it because the value wasn't there. But now a few things have opened up. I want to look up this Jonah Bride under his hits, runs, and RBIs. Last 3, man, he's been on a roll. Numbers against Montgomery is 0 for 3 with an RBI. Against lefties, McBride. Oh, it's not McBride. It's just Jonah Bride. Who the fuck is Jonah McBride? 28% strikeout rate. Little pop, nothing crazy. Montgomery versus righties. Nah. I'm going to take Beef Farting out of there, and I'm just going to run a 3-pick. And I'll share this in the chat. So that's 2 slips. All right. This dog hair is like bugging me. I'm finding dog hair on the inside of my shirt. I'm like, how the fuck is it getting on the inside of my shirt? It's just everywhere. My dog sheds so much. It's like, it's just impossible to keep track of it all. It's not gross. It's just frustrating. just like when I find it in the refrigerator, it's like, how the fuck did it land on a shelf and like one single little dog hair? Like, how did it get in there? Transfer from me to the fridge. Those of you who don't have any dogs don't know. The struggle is real. All right. That's it. That's a 3-pick on underdog. We did what's up, Paul? Paul said, I took plum under in the slip already. Nice. Yeah, so that underdog slip in the chat. Look at the over Bryce Harper fantasy score. It's the matchup with Freed looks great. Freed has been walking batters, like 3 batters, 4 straight games, 5 straight games. Chelsea Gray over points and rebounds, and Danico lower 14.5 map 1 kill. That's a 3-pick on underdog. Let's see if we can cash that for a 6x. So we have a better slip in there somewhere, and we have an underdog slip in there somewhere. What's up, T? T made it. Got about 10 minutes left on the stream. I do have to end it a little early today. But let's see within these next 10 minutes if we can put something else together. That's 2 slips. All right. So this is a new one. So they are just hammering the shit out of the unders for Kelsey Plum. Under on her points, and now under on her combined points, McBride. That got taken off. That's who I was thinking of. Jonah Bride, Kayla McBride. My brain got crossed up. And now we got under 5.5 threes made for Kayla McBride and Kelsey Plum. I don't know what Kelsey Plum did to piss off the algorithms, but there it is, liking the under on all her props. Yeah, as you can see, like you know what we can do? This is what we're gonna do. I'm not gonna spend the next 10 minutes like going over bad plays. We built 2 slips out. What we're gonna do is because Paul mentioned it in the chat about football. If you haven't yet started playing or creating your season slips, this is what we can do, okay? And I'm just going to give you some ideas. If you haven't built one out yet, we're gonna go over discrepancies. I just pulled up week 1 right now. None of these plays are rating as positive EV plus EV because we're 2.5 weeks out. But as we get closer to the NFL season, these plays will start to increase in value. They'll also start to bump. So if you see anything that you like, it's not a bad idea to lock this in. As more books start taking action on this CJ Stroud line, it's going to increase. The week of, it'll be over 270. So if you've locked it in at 260 or more or less, then you're going to get a good deal. We've seen this before. So don't wait too long to put some of these plays in. I know it feels weird locking these in, but that's how you lock in value. So check this out. Let's go over to PrizePicks and let's pull up NFL season. So I just want to go over a few. I'm not going to go over the entire board. We just don't have any. We just don't have enough time for that. We might be able to do a stream solely dedicated to the NFL season long props. If that's something that y'all want to do, we will only talk about NFL only. Build out a few season long slips if that's something y'all want to do, but we can't do it all today. However, you don't have a whole lot of information to go on. And if you're looking at quarterbacks last 3-4 seasons and all that stuff, it's not really relevant because every season is different. The schedule changes, the personnel changes, coaching staff changes. You can't look at what somebody did a year ago and say that's what they're going to do again, right? You expect a drop off for CJ Stroud this year, sophomore slump, but how much of a drop off, right? Much better team around him. Will he have to do as much? I don't know. But those are things that you keep in mind. But in terms of just playing the numbers and playing the best plays, you have to be on top of what the other pick'em sites have. So for instance, you pull up Josh Allen's passing yards for the year, set to 37.49.5. It's not a matter of whether or not you think he can get it. It's a matter of, is it the best line available? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Because any quarterback can get any passing yard prop. It's not the question. What's the best line? So 37.49. Underdog has this set to 38.5. 3,800.5. So you're already getting a discount on PrizePicks. That's what, 50 yards less? Doesn't seem like a lot. A couple kneel downs and shit at the end of a game, you know, that makes a big difference between him taking another snap and throwing it deep and going over a passing prop or not. So 3,800 on Underdog, 37.49 on PrizePicks. And Dabble has it set to 3,800.5. So if you were going to take the over on a Josh Allen passing yards prop, it'd be on PrizePicks because you're getting a 50-yard discount. Does that make sense? So you can do it like that, or you can just take the under on one of the other two. But the one that stands out is this low line. So you just take the over on that one. It's the best line you're going to find on a pick'em site that I'm seeing. Let's look at Aaron Rodgers, right? Aaron Rodgers coming off a non-existent season. He didn't play any snaps, basically. He was gone for the whole year. Coming back off an Achilles injury. He's older. How's he gonna be in this offense? You know. So we're looking at his passing yards here. Let's just throw it up on the board. 36.99. All right. Dabble has it set to 3,700.5. So not too much of a difference there. If we head over to Underdog, probably would have been easier for me just to enter Aaron Rodgers' name instead of scrolling down. I'm too far into it. All right, so that one probably isn't. Well, actually, Underdog has it set to 3,800. Underdog has it set to 3,800. Dabble has it set to 3,700. I would take the under on. I wouldn't play this on PrizePicks. I would just play the under 3,800 on Underdog, since that is the highest line. It's a 100-yard difference. Okay, so it's a pretty decent gap. I mean, there's a chance that Aaron Rodgers might not even throw for 3,500 yards this season. You're going to take the over on this one. I take the under on his highest line. You know. Make him beat that. Let's do a receiving yards prop. All right, so let's see. Let's pick a receiver that isn't. All right, let's take a look at Stephon Diggs. So Stephon Diggs on a new team, in a new offense, with a new quarterback. Obviously, he's a huge upgrade for the Texans, but he's not the alpha there. It's Nico Collins. I would say Stephon Diggs and then Tank Dell. Nico Collins is younger. He's bigger. He's stronger. I don't know about faster, but he knows the offense. And he has a better chemistry and better rapport with CJ Stroud. So in my opinion, Nico's the alpha. Stephon Diggs is going to be a huge upgrade to Noah Brown and all the shit they were rolling out there last season. But now I don't think we've ever seen his receiving yards this low. So 899.5 over on PrizePicks. Stephon Diggs is set to 900.5 yards on Dabble. So not the same, but very close. So you're not really going to find a huge difference between those two. Let's see what Underdog has. Underdog has him set to 974.5. So now listen, if you think all these lines are too low, if you think anything under 1,000 yards for Stephon Diggs is too low, then you're definitely playing the over on all these lines, because all of these are under 1,000. But if you're simply looking for the line that is different from the other two, PrizePicks and Dabble are seeing this almost identically. Underdog has it set to 974. So the under would be in play on his receiving yards on Underdog. I'm not saying you have to play these three guys. I'm just using these as just examples of how we can use other pick'em sites to find the best line value. That's all. All right, let's check out a rushing yard prop, and then I got to go. Derrick Henry. So except for Josh Allen, I'm targeting players who are on different teams, different schemes, all that shit, right? Derrick Henry's now in Baltimore, no longer a Tennessee Titan. It's Tajay Spears' season in Tennessee. No more Mike Vrabel. So Derrick Henry is set to 975.5 rushing yards as a season prop on PrizePicks. Underdog has this set to 1,025.5. So it's already marked up 50 yards higher on Underdog. So PrizePicks so far has the lowest line. Nothing's easy in the NFL. The lowest line. If we head on over to Dabble, do we not have a Derrick Henry prop on Dabble? We do. Okay, so Derrick Henry is set to 950 yards, 950.5 yards on Dabble. Underdog is the highest line. Dabble was the lowest line. So if you want to play the over on the Derrick Henry rushing prop, Dabble is giving you the lowest line. You play the over on Dabble, then you head on over to Underdog and consider playing the under on 1,025, or don't play the under and just play the over on Dabble. I mean, Derrick Henry is going to eat a ton of carries in this offense. The Ravens do not want Lamar Jackson getting hurt on some bullshit bootleg. They need him. They're trying to win a Super Bowl. They're trying to slow shit down. It's going to be a great fit for Derrick Henry. The Ravens have had 3 seasons in a row where their top rusher has torn an ACL or an Achilles within the first 4 weeks of the year, and they have to just patchwork quilt the backfield. They finally have a workhorse who's going to take a ton of carries away from Lamar Jackson. It's just going to be a great fit for him. Derrick Henry could be looking at 12, 13 rushing touchdowns and over 1,000 yards. Playing the over on Dabble makes sense because you're getting it much lower than everywhere else. So those are 4 players that we just looked at in terms of finding the best value and just comparing different sites. But 3 of those 4 players are essentially new to the team. Aaron Rodgers, this will be his first full year as a Jet. Like, hopefully he gets to play more than one snap. Diggs is in a new team, and Derrick Henry's on a new team. So I think we should definitely dedicate a live stream to just NFL plays and just try to build out a few different season-long slips and see if we can find the best value. I think we can do that. Maybe we do it Friday. Maybe we do it on Friday. How about that? We do a NFL season long live stream on Friday. I'll even change up the thumbnail a little bit too, so it stands out. We built out 2 slips on the stream. We built out 1 on BETR. We built out 1 on Underdog. We didn't dabble on Dabble or PrizePicks. The value wasn't there, but we did go over some, I guess you want to call it season-long plays and some season-long strategies. And we'll do a live stream on Friday and we'll talk about only NFL player props on Friday. And that's how we'll end the stream today. Appreciate y'all being here on a Wednesday. Hit that like button on your way out. Consider subbing up to the channel as well if you haven't done so. I'll do my best to put a couple of slips in the Discord, but today might be a day where we don't play a lot. You know, we have one day like that a week usually. It's good to just take a break. It's good to just take your foot off the gas. If there's no value there, regroup, bounce back the next day. But hopefully we get some things opening up later on today, and I'll try to put a slip or 2 in the Discord for you all. But that's going to be it. Hit that like button on your way out. Consider subbing up to the channel. Make sure your notification bell is turned on. And I will be back tomorrow morning, 8:50 a.m. with another live player prop talk here on the channel. Hope everything goes well for you today. I hope all your slips respect the damn coin. And until tomorrow's live stream, Chavez is out.